All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first live stream of October of 2025. And we have a full house already. I was actually kind of late, so they were all already here to begin
Yeah,
with.
we're counting the moments. Where were you?
so, wait, is the sound coming out right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good for me. So
Okay, perfect. All right. So on the stage, we have Blarg, John, Ook, Stevo,
Howdy.
and Neil.
howdy,
Hey,
everybody.
guys.
Hello. Heyo.
G'day. Good to see
So,
Craig here.
Good to see
yes,
everybody.
definitely. Craig is always here
Yeah,
early
tilting.
and
The
tilting
usual.
just
Greg stayed
fine.
up just like I did. Yep. Just tilting.
Thank you, everyone. And so I've been kind of busy this week, so I hadn't had too much time to be on social media or think about the different topics. I was helping my mother move in and then just kind of getting into her new apartment and just doing some of the stuff that you do when you first move into a new place, just taking care of things, and
It
probably
really is stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still looking for a permanent place to live. So yeah, but being here has given us enough room to unpack everything for the first time. And I mean, we had boxes going back that were unpacked for 15 years.
Yeah, those are the ones that probably they're just about worth tossing out without even bother opening.
Oh no,
Because
these
you haven't used them in that long. You're like,
these had crockery from my great grandmother, crockery from Crystal's great grandmother, all that sort of stuff that we couldn't find a display. You know how they normally get glass fronted display cabinets, so you don't have to dust everything. It's all behind glass. They're really hard to find nowadays, and we didn't want to put $7,000 to $8,000 each, and we didn't want to get any of the good stuff out because, well, cats, cleaning, pain in the ass. But yeah, now we've got it out. We can, that's nice. That's nice. I forgot we had them. Whose are these? I don't know. Should we keep them? Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. I even found the crocheted baby garments that they did for my christening, for my baptism, christening. And it's all like, holy fuck. I wonder if I can sell these on eBay as vintage. And yeah, really fine work. But yeah,
I didn't realize you still haven't found a permanent spot or permanent.
No,
place.
not yet. It's it's a little bit more complicated than we first thought, but it's getting there.
I see.
Trying to
Do you have
find that
expected time of when you might have?
Probably by New Year.
Okay.
Just after.
Let's see.
If everything goes to plan. It's one of those things, as you know, it's trying to juggle between how much do we need to live, space? Do we go bigger? Do we go smaller? Do we go what? Do we go further out into the country? Like 5 minutes down the road, you can get 5-acre blocks. And then that's still reasonably close to hospitals and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it just trying to find something. I don't want to have to move again, or if we can help it at all, Trying to find that forever place is hard to do. Unless we win, I don't know, we have lotteries here like the Endeavour Foundation, which is takes care of people with Down syndrome and all that sort of stuff. They have lotteries like houses and this several people have this sort of thing, and I've been buying a few tickets in there. So if we win something like that, yeah, that'll be all right. That'll be a lot easier because sometimes they have them on the Gold Coast or on the Sunshine Coast, and they are like blocks of 5 units, all renting for about $5,000-6,000 a month. Oh, sorry,
man.
a week, and you
Oh,
get the
wow,
top floor.
really?
Yeah, you
Oh,
get the whole
man.
apartment building. So it's sort of like, yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
fingers crossed. Who knows?
Oof.
But yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, just with all the health concerns and everything, you just got to. It's a lot more complicated than I thought. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, let's get on.
Do you know what I'm showing?
Flat Earthers.
No.
Oh no!
Oh,
Do you want to say it, Q, or can I?
Go ahead.
That picture is wrong on so many levels. Oh my god!
Beautiful. Beautiful.
All right.
Oh.
So I had invited Orange Unit. At some point I do have to shift to a system where we can have more than 6 people. And the way I would have to do it is I would have to use a different way to do the live stream. And it would just be live streaming a Google Meet
Okay.
into YouTube. So I just haven't had a chance to test it out yet, but at some point we will, so that we can have more than 6 people, because it does happen kind of often enough where we have more than 6 people total.
Yeah, you can drop me down whenever if there's another guest that wants to come on.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll come on because I didn't see his message until just now, so I sent him the link. But FYI, Orange Unit was the one who had, and this was back on Tuesday, where he said the hot topic today is a looming government shutdown. And he predicted that it's not going to shut down. Something will be resolved at 11:59. It always does. So about as accurate as Jesus' prediction that he's going to be back before all his disciples
And he did.
taste death. And that definitely happened, right?
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
well,
Well, that depends. Well, it depends on your.
It depends on your meaning of 100%.
Yes.
yeah, and return and back.
And disciple
Yeah,
and Jesus
There's just so many factors.
and
Using the wrong calendar.
Oh yeah, I did. So, because there was supposed to be a rapture, I think last week or sometime.
It's about
or
2 weeks
maybe
ago,
it
I
was a week
think.
before. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And
Yeah, but
one of the excuse for Jesus not coming back was that people miscalculated because Jesus was talking about a different calendar, not the Gregorian calendar.
Julian and Gregorian, they fucked up. Yeah, it's like
Or maybe the Jewish calendar, right? So
Who knows at this point?
So it's now this Wednesday, then, isn't it?
calendar.
yeah.
oh, is it this Wednesday? Is that the new date?
Yeah.
That's the new date.
I don't know why they try, because he does. Oh, hold on. So Orange is back on. Okay, I'll pop you down. Just let me know when you want to say something.
Yeah, you can drop me
Sweet
if that's the case.
Sweet
You can
as
drop me
mate.
for a moment.
All right. Okay. I drop. Well. Okay. All right.
No, drop.
Steve.
Oh, okay.
Any of us.
Oh no. That actually. Orange still isn't. He hasn't connected his mic, so I can't
Yeah.
add him
Well,
yet.
if Ook wants to go down first, he can. But if he wants to come back up, he can drop me.
I'm always ready to go down, as long as my knees are up.
Well, ain't that
Okay,
the
I'm gonna
Half a
have
second
to
ahead there.
hold
Half a
on.
second
I have to
ahead.
change the rating of this stream from rated PG
I
to
haven't sworn
rated
yet.
R.
Nobody has really.
I haven't even said fuck it yet.
Well, there you go. You just blew it.
Okay, all right. I'm kicking you out because you said
Righto.
that word. All right. Hello, Orange.
Hey, hello.
How you
How's
doing?
everybody doing? Good, good.
How's it
Hey,
going?
Orange, how you doing,
How you
man?
doing, buddy?
doing good, doing good. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on. And yes, my prediction that it would be solved by 11:59 did not come true. I predicted that. I always predicted that way when there's a government shutdown. That in the last hour they'll have a solution, and I'm pretty much right every time, right? So, but this last time, no, it actually shut down. It's crazy. Government actually shut down.
Well,
I
I mean,
love how your
it's-
use of pretty much in that statement is doing all the heavy lifting.
yeah. So Orange, I'm sorry I didn't respond to your messages. I had assumed I didn't respond because I assumed that you had been raptured by then. So I figured you won't be
Well,
around to see my thing, see
on,
my
on
message.
on the plus side, I don't believe in the rapture, never have. So I was pretty safe to stay grounded here on the earth throughout this time period. So
Okay.
Although I guess Neil, you said there is a new date for the rapture again. So
goody.
so maybe you'll
7th.
have another shot.
7th of October. But Craig has reminded me that there are calls
Wait,
for the
is
31st
Callus?
instead.
Okay, but first, Callus is saying that he's going to take Bark's spot on the rapture. Is that what he said?
No.
No,
I think
that's
on the thing because there's a bird.
Oh, okay, got it.
no.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Callous Pigeons is me. That was me on there. That's
Oh, I
my
see.
Oh, okay.
that's
And
my
but-
YouTube account. Yeah,
Ah.
Callous Pigeons.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm Orange Unit outside of that. So I guess I have an identity crisis between birds and the cats. I don't know.
So
Well, at least we know
right now,
now.
so wait, to be clear, right now you're giving us the bird.
I'm
He's
giving
not,
all of
he's
you
not
No.
giving us a bird.
No, I'm
He's
giving you
giving us-
pussy.
Not doing it.
Oh,
He's giving us a pussy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Q, I didn't know it was that kind of show.
Oh, I did have to put this into R because rated R because of what Ook said. So
Oh, okay, there you
yeah, he blew it. So
yeah. Okay, he blew it. It's okay. I think we're going in another direction now. So
yeah. I wasn't inferring that, but if you want to go there,
yeah, right. So I did want to talk about the government shutdown a little bit, and having Orange here, he can let us know what his. Well, so Orange, I mean, this kind of is an extension of what we were talking last time you were here about you not considering yourself a leader, and I thought that you generally also wasn't going to be or wouldn't be involved in politics, for example, in voting, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah. I mean, I don't do any votes. I don't take sides on issues in terms of political affairs. But I have an interest in it, and it's kind of interesting to watch the news. I appreciate seeing what's going on in the world, even if I don't vote or hail to any particular Democrat or Republican Party or Independent or any of those parties. But it doesn't mean I can't have an interest in what's going on in the world, of course.
Well, I think you have to. I mean, most people, sane people, should have an interest in what's going on in the world. They can't be just completely isolated and thinking of
Right.
only themselves,
Agreed. Yeah.
right? Because we are a social animal.
Yeah.
I guess I think. Hey, Orange. I guess my question is, with the amount of influence that government can have on our day-to-day life, and I mean everything from the city council all the way up to the president. isn't it irresponsible to not be at least partially involved in those kinds of decisions? Because I mean, so much of it's going to be done to you, so you don't want to have any say in what happens.
Well, I pretty much any true Christian is going to look to God for the solution and let God guide the people that are necessary for proper resolution. I mean, we all want peace on this earth, but man's never going to achieve that, period, as much as they try. That's just one example. But does that mean we need to join the war in order to achieve what we may desire? Well, no, because Jesus abstained from politics himself. He did not get involved with the political conflicts.
Render unto Caesar.
Pardon me?
What was all the flipping of tables at the
Yeah, the temple.
complaining?
The money changers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And render unto Caesar. I mean, that's
Yeah,
directly saying.
Yep.
There's a whole pile of politics.
Well, the flipping of the tables wasn't political. That was money grubbing hypocrites that were selling animals in the temple for an exorbitant amount. Because back then, of course, the Israelites offered sacrifices for forgiveness of sins. Well, subsequent to Jesus' death, we rely on Jesus' greater sacrifice for forgiveness of sins. But prior to Jesus' death, there was a foreshadowing of a greater sacrifice, and that's when the Israelites were instructed to offer animals for forgiveness of sins. But when they would go to the temple, they could purchase those animals, and the money changers and those selling the animals were doing so for greedy purposes, and that's why Jesus flipped over the tables. But so that answers
Yes, but it's also part of the whole political structure. The church was not free of politics. It was integrated into the society. So complaints about the way in which religion operates are complaints about the way politics operate.
Well, no, those are just greedy commercial people, just like we see in our day. Greedy commercial people. They could care
Render
about.
unto Caesar.
Now that's a different account, and that's a very interesting one because the tax man was coming around basically, right? And the disciples went to Jesus and said, "Hey, should we pay the tax?" And Jesus said, "Well, whose inscription is on the coin?"
Right.
They said, "Well, Caesar's." And he said, "Well, give Caesar's things to Caesar, but God's things to God." And so he
Right,
paid the tax.
but that's a political stance.
It is another political stance.
Well, paying Caesar's things to Caesar, that's just a law that doesn't conflict with Bible laws. So
Right, but it's still a political stance.
Voting for your choice of president isn't a law that conflicts with the Bible either.
But you can pay your taxes without being politically biased.
Yes, but you can vote. It doesn't matter whether you're politically biased. You're not allowed to. There's nothing in the Bible that says you can't have a political choice.
Jesus didn't have a political choice at all, but yet he still paid the tax.
I guess to come up with a rather extreme example here, and this is not based in reality, but it is for me to get sort of a clear idea of your metric. If there was a presidential candidate who ran on the platform, I am going to outlaw Christianity, you would take no opinion about that candidate's campaign.
Well, personal opinion, I would be very sad to see that happen, but that happens in a lot of countries, right? You see in Russia, for example, that they've
I'm looking for kind of a yes or no here. You would take on no opinion. You would not campaign against an overtly anti-Christian candidate.
Well, that's two different questions there. So would I have an opinion? Yes. Would I take on a campaign? No.
But then aren't you responsible for the outcome of that election by your inaction?
Well, then if that were true, then would the people who voted that person in place also be responsible for that?
Oh, sure. I mean, look, my brother, my brother is a conservative Catholic, and he voted for the current administration, and I 100% hold him accountable for his vote.
So that's why I don't vote. That's why my family doesn't vote. We're not going to be responsible because any leader is going to be involved in some type of shenanigans. And do you want to be held responsible for putting that person into office or part of putting that person to office.
See there, but therein lies
Oh, that's
therein lies the response. What's up?
that's a very, very shit argument, because if
That was a
you're
perfect
standing
one.
there, no. Listen, if you're standing there and there's a person about to shoot a child, and you have the option of doing something about that, you just go, well, I didn't want to be in the situation where I did something to stop something. You know, that's exactly the position you're taking. You go, oh, I'm not going to vote against this person or because just in case they do something bad. You go, well, I'm not going to save that child just in case some point down the track that child does something bad.
By the
It's
way,
the same
Well,
Blarg, you know what this has turned into? A trolley problem.
It is indeed.
No!
All right,
Well-
everyone have a drink.
I don't have any right now.
The missus brought me a coffee, so yep, I'm into
Well, I
it.
got soda, but it's not the same.
I just got water.
But still,
Before
Take a shot.
we go on, just one thing.
water
So
in a pint glass.
Orange, you said when someone had brought up render unto Caesar, you claimed that Jesus did pay taxes, right?
He did pay taxes, yes. Even though he was of royal lineage, he was a descendant of David, so he wasn't even supposed to be charged a tax. He was a descendant of David, but
And
he
so
specifically
you're claiming is that he paid taxes to Rome?
he still paid
or-
anyways. Yeah, the Roman authorities pretty much had a grip over the nation of Israel during that time period. Up until what was it, 667 CE?
So
I'm
where
confused.
does
I
it
didn't
say
think- I
that
didn't
he
think that-
actually
hold on.
paid? Where does it say he actually paid the taxes, like
In
the
that-
Roman taxes?
In that very same account that was brought up is where he actually said to go ahead and pay the tax.
Yeah,
if you want-
he's
Right,
but
but-
it doesn't mean that he paid the taxes.
He
right?
did.
or
Yeah.
he paid any taxes.
He
It
did.
doesn't.
Wait,
Yeah.
I-
It
I'm
doesn't
confused.
say
Hold on,
he
I'm-
paid taxes.
It
I'm
does.
Yeah, I mean, this
I'm
is-
confused about something that you just said, Orange. You said that he was of royal lineage, but I thought that royal lineage was drawn from the father, not the mother.
Well, he pointed that out for a reason about.
No, you said that he was royalty, and from David, but I thought lineage from David was determined through the father. Is it not?
I don't know. I've never heard that before. I wouldn't
Because
necessarily
well,
dispute
just
that.
about-
there aren't any women in the list of the two genealogies in the Bible. Not a single woman in that list, so everyone's male. So it's
and
pretty.
Mary was a virgin, so he couldn't possibly be from Joseph's side of the family. So how could he be royalty?
Well, for that you go to the genealogical record, which is there's two different genealogical
Yes, but
records.
he's
There's
not
one in
related to Joseph. Joseph isn't his father.
well, you're making the assumption a person can't be royalty through a female, but I don't know if that's true.
There's no female lineage in the Bible. There is only a male lineage that goes to Joseph. There's no female lineage that goes to Mary. And
Oh, that's
yes,
not true. So Matthew chapter 1 is through Joseph, and then in Luke chapter 3 is through Mary. You
No.
can see both.
Hell
No,
no.
that's not true.
oh, fuck
Totally
right
true.
off.
I mean, first of all, the point is that the lineage is a paternal
It's a-
lineage. It's not a maternal
Paternal
lineage.
lineage.
That's the point.
Like
Well-
it has to be maternal. It can't be paternal. Because he has no connection to the paternal side of the lineage.
Okay, regardless, Jesus paid the tax, and he didn't vote.
Yeah,
So
but-
you're trying to combine.
Wait, no, he's
No, no, no,
so-
no,
You're trying to combine two things that are
That's
dissimilar.
No, I'm not
Right.
combining two things. I don't know why this so lineage thing, but my question was and my objection is when people just say things and they make the Bible say things that it's not actually explicitly there. It doesn't say that he actually paid the Roman taxes. It just says that he agrees that Rome has authority in levying the tax. It doesn't say anywhere that he actually paid Roman taxes. That's the point I was trying to make.
So you're saying he supported tax, but then decided not to himself?
No, he doesn't even say
Who
he
said he had
supported
any money?
taxes.
Yeah.
That's true.
The thing is, like, they were trying to trap him to see if he actually, would rebel against Rome, because they wanted to try to get him in trouble with Rome. And all they did was, like, ask him, well, do you think Rome has authority in levying the taxes? And he said, yeah, sure, they do, because their coin is on it's Caesar's image on the coin, so that's why.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
but
if
he
I
doesn't
found this-
say that. He doesn't
Yes,
say that he paid taxes.
It
He
does.
just says that others.
found it.
He's just
No, I
talking
found
about
it.
the
No, I'm
authority.
telling you, I found it. I
Okay,
found it in the
all right, okay.
Bible. Matthew
Okay, all
chapter
right.
17 is that
Okay.
account. So he says, so we already discussed the first part of that account. And then in verse 27 of Matthew 17, it says, this is Jesus talking. He says, but that we
Okay.
do not cause them to stumble, go to the sea, cast a fish hook, take the first fish that comes up, and when you open its mouth, you'll find a silver coin. Take that and give it to them for me and you. So at that point, he paid the tax.
So that's a temple tax. That's not the Roman tax. So if you go a little bit above to verse 24, it's talking about the temple tax. That's not the same thing as a Roman tax. And this is, again, me pointing out where a lot of Christians say things that are not in the Bible, as if the Bible actually said that.
Where do you see it says Roman tax or the temple tax?
Okay, verse 24. After Jesus and his disciple arrived in Capernaum, the collectors of the 2 drachma temple tax came to Peter and asked, doesn't your teacher pay the temple tax? Right?
Okay, it does not say
What does
that
that mean?
in all translations.
Which goes into another problem that I have with.
Yes.
That is a problem.
So
I agree.
you're gonna find a translation where it says Roman tax instead of temple tax. Which translation
No, the
does says that?
drachma tax.
It's not like, for the temple tax that they had a different coinage.
No,
it's not like when you give a tithe to your church, it's not like you give a different coinage than dollars, for example, right?
Well, let me do a little research
You're not
on this.
you're not
No,
paying by
yes.
spiritual coins.
I'm a little low on my divinity dollars this week, Pastor.
Yeah.
And I
right.
just put up the appropriate verses out of Matthew and Luke that show that it's explicitly the line of Joseph, not the line of
Not the line of
Mary.
But
Yeah,
it can't be the line of Joseph.
So here it is, Matthew 1:15, and it says, and Jacob, the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary, who bore Jesus.
Very, very a distinction that needs to be really looked at.
And then in Luke, Jesus was about 30 years old when he began his work. He was son, as was thought, of Joseph, son of Heli. And that's where the list of ancestors begins in Luke. So both of them, son of Joseph. He wasn't son of Joseph.
Well, if you compare those two lists, genealogical lists,
There's errors.
They diversify. I mean, they're not the exact same
Well,
list.
so that's
Yes,
an
that's right.
error. I mean, that's a
Error.
problem too, right? That there's 2 different genealogies within the Bible.
Yeah. Well, either
The
the
family-
error is, there's only 2 possibilities. Either the error is that the lists are wrong, or the error is that one of these 2 accounts should say Mary, who is the daughter of. There's an error in one of them. In both of them, it says that it refers to Joseph, not to Mary as the person who is descendant of that person. So either way is an error. Doesn't matter which way you slice it.
Well, no, in verse 16 is where it connects in with Mary. But keep in mind, during that time, the husband always was the family head that was
Jacob,
credited.
the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary. Jacob, the father of Joseph, not Jacob, the father of Mary, who was the wife of Joseph.
Right. And as you go through those genealogical lines, you'll see that there's women in those lines.
No, there aren't. Not
Where?
one.
Where's the
Rahab.
woman in that
Yeah, where?
genealogy?
Please show
Oh,
us the
Ra-
girls, man.
Matthew 1 verse 5. We got Rahab listed in there. Ruth is listed in there.
Ruth is a male name.
No, Ruth. There's a whole Bible book regarding Ruth, and she was a female.
Yes, but it's also a male name.
No, but in this case, it's not,
Prove it.
because Ruth's father was Boaz. Or Boaz became father to Obed by Ruth, and so, well, prove to me it's all males in here then. And you're the one that says it's only males, but there's
It's
in
clearly
Matthew
a
chapter
lineage of
1.
males.
No, you can't
Okay,
say that.
so
can't say
let's take a
that.
step back here.
Right,
Let's
let-
take a
All,
look
all
at-
the biblical genealogies were of men.
So if you
All,
look
all
at the
examples of
genealogy,
genealogy.
yeah, Ruth is only mentioned to say that she was whose mother was Ruth. Boaz, the father of Obed. So Boaz's mother was Ruth, but the genealogy is through Obed and Salmon, right? Salmon, the father of Boaz. So Ruth is just kind of mentioned as kind
In
of
passing.
being the mother of whose mother was I don't. Oh, okay. Obed's mother was Ruth. It's just there to mention that Ruth is Obed's mother, but she's not part of the genealogy.
It's sort of like if you talk about the cast of Friends and you say also Phoebe was there. Okay, Phoebe was female, but not a part of the Ross Rachel storyline. You're trying to add in a character here.
Well, no, the Bible adds the character. Boaz became father to Obed by Ruth. So
No,
she's
not
not.
by
which-
Ruth.
This
No,
is a
look at the
at no
genealogy.
point-
The
Why would I-
genealogy is Salmon and Boaz and Obed,
Yes.
right? That's the genealogy. It's not
And it
through
was-
Ruth.
Yeah, it just
Simon,
says
the father of Boaz, whose mother was Ruth, whose mother was Rahab. Boaz, the father of Obed, whose mother was Ruth. It just says, by the way, this is the dude's mom's name.
And she's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
really. And
but
there's
it
no,
just runs through the males, because at no point is it mentioned that Ruth is the daughter of anybody, or Rahab is the daughter of anybody, or Tamar is the daughter of anybody. It's not mentioned because it's not coming through her. It's coming through Jacob, Judah, Perez, etc. It's a genealogy of males only, and that's how it always is. The women were chattel in that era. Women are chattel in the Ten Commandments. They're still included in there as chattel. So there is no way that there was going to be a female in that lineage
What's
as
chattel?
a
I've never heard that word.
Just property. Chattel just means
property.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because the commandment about not what is about not being jealous of your neighbors.
not coveting, not coveting your neighbor's properties,
Wife.
including
Yeah,
the wife
wife
and the oxen and the slaves,
slaves.
etc.
Yeah, it's a list of chattel. So that's it.
Okay.
So
yeah.
By the way, so I mean, let's just leave it there because I mean, I don't think there's much more. But I do want to, because I think Orange kind of got it from a bunch of us on a couple of different topics. I did want to mention this one thing. So I had posted apparently redefine apologetics. I guess he's not on in the comments now, but he is on X. So I did make a comment about him, and when I say kind of branded himself a coward, it's because he claimed that John was branding himself a coward for whatever reason. So Orange, kind of, I guess, sort of defended the show, so to speak, and he responded to Redefine Apologetics saying, I had a rocky start on this show because I didn't grasp the format until after the fact, so don't feel bad. 5 against 1, constantly being interrupted is a tough venue. So I do kind of, so I see both sides. So I do get that you're kind of there's multiple people kind of bombarding you on multiple sides. But in general, we're not trying to. I mean, I try to keep the topic on one topic, right? So you don't have to go back and forth on multiple different topics. So that's where I didn't, I felt bad that, we went from one topic to another right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think in general, we try to be respectful, to give you a chance. We try as much as we can. And we try to kind of stay on topic. So
We're
I
also
want to
very
make sure.
passionate. So
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's kind of why I like being here. That's why I enjoyed it the first time. I saw the passion, I saw the energy, the zeal, the enthusiasm, and that was pretty cool. It definitely threw me off. I should have probably maybe listened to a few past episodes before jumping on. So it did kind of throw me off a little bit, but hey, I'm here a second time, so it didn't bother me too much, right?
yeah,
And like I said,
I'll give you props. You know.
Thanks.
yeah, and I don't want the guests to feel bombarded by multiple different people. So I will try to step in if things get a little bit out of hand. But I do want it to be kind of, and I do want it to be kind of focused discussions where it's on a specific topic on a kind of specific argument. So
And I want to apologize because I'm the one who interjected with the idea of him being royal lineage, because you just kind of threw that out there.
Yeah.
And that just sort of grated against my understanding of how royal lineage. Yes, Craig, everybody's very passionate, especially John.
Yes,
especially
you too.
John.
Especially John.
Oh yeah,
That's
we know
fair.
that already.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
I knew I was in trouble last time when you picked on an adjective I used regarding Charlie Kirk's beautiful wife, and I was like, "Uh-oh, I'm in big trouble here. You're picking up on adjectives." So,
well, okay. I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this to you directly, Orange. But just to kind of give you a super quick in my background, my mother was a trial attorney.
oh, okay.
And she never lost at trial.
Wow.
So so I was raised on words and their meanings, and sometimes I can be an absolute asshat about that.
I understand. I came from a legal background myself. My mom, as well. So yeah, no, I grew up in that type of environment, so I totally get that.
Oh, I was really hoping you were going to just do it from the other angle and say I grew up in a legal environment myself. My parents were always in jail. I was really hoping.
Oh, thank goodness,
I
no.
was so hoping that's where it was going. I was going, come on, give us that. No.
Yeah, you can't have nice things.
But honestly,
so good.
Orange, truly, if I'm ever being too, if you think I'm being unnecessarily abrasive towards you, or you think I'm being too pedantic, or if I'm being unreasonable, just say so. I promise you, I will cry myself to sleep.
It's all good. It's almost like we're forming a little family here. So,
Oh, that's okay. I accept you as my little brother.
very good. I
And
appreciate
also,
that. You're my big brother.
just
then.
FYI, despite Orange's offer, Redefined did not respond. So
That is very. I'm very heartbroken about that, and I think you should tell him that I'm very disappointed that he snubbed me like
We'll
that.
pass it along.
Okay, I appreciate that.
it seems like he did run away because he's not here.
Yeah,
this
he
week.
ran away hard.
Oh.
I thought that would appeal to him. Hey, if there was another Christian on, maybe if there's two of us, he might feel a
Sure.
little more comfortable. I don't know.
Craig in the comments is
you guys should gang up on me.
Christian. Yeah, Craig in the comments is a Christian as well.
Yes.
Oh, we have another Christian amongst us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, we don't discriminate because
great.
you're a Christian. That's not the problem.
I think Craig is a little bit different. He's not like a
He's-
fundamentalist.
No, he's
Space
about-
Neo type.
What's the opposite of a fundamentalist? He's that end.
He's a radical.
He's the can't give a
No.
shittest, but I still believeist. I think something
Wait,
like
so
that.
Orange, did you say whether you are a flat earther or not? I thought you're kind of more a little bit scientific or accept science, but maybe I'm
I
wrong.
do. Yeah. No, the Earth is round. I love watching the various launches, the satellite feeds, the ISS, or whatever. And I know a lot of people do feel it's flat and pick apart certain things
Well,
that
the reason why Ook asked is that
There's a story behind
when we tried to ask redefine apologetics, he couldn't give a straight answer.
Yeah, he didn't say no. He didn't
my
say
goodness.
flat, but he kept trying to change the topic.
Oh, he kept on bringing up
Oh my
firmament and shit like that.
Yeah.
I missed that. I didn't hear that part of the show, but I think it's easy if you believe the earth is round, just say you think it's round. If you think it's flat, just say I think it's flat.
Well,
Yeah,
apologetics.
He was on, and I had actually forgotten that he had been on before, but he was on like several weeks ago, and that's where he kind of crashed and burned, as some would say.
I will say though, he's not here to defend himself, not even in the comment section. So let's as look. I love dogpiling on that guy just as much as everyone else.
Oh yeah.
However, he's not here to defend himself. So respectfully, I would suggest that we find a different topic.
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
I'll
how about
defer
that
to you,
government
Tom.
shutdown?
That was going to
Something
be
less
where
controversial.
Yes.
I wanted to move it to. But I mean, we kind of talked about a little bit, Orange, from your point of view, that you have an opinion, but you won't involve yourself in the politics. I think
Correct.
that's when.
Yeah. And I have a lot of opinions about the government shutdown if we hit that topic. So
Well,
I think
it's
it's
the
fun.
Democrats' fault. That's all I can say, because
Yeah,
they hold all
obviously.
the powers, right?
well, it's a continuing resolution, so it was the same resolution that was passed under Biden that they wanted to continue. So it was a clean CR bill, so it should have had wide sweeping support because that same bill did previously and had no problem. But this time around, because Trump is now president, I think that was one of the things. But let's back up. So I personally think, and this is just my opinion, I personally think Trump sat there in the Oval Office with what were the two guys in the Oval Office with him again? Keem
Miller
Jeffries.
and
Keem Jeffries and
Miller.
Who?
All right, you're talking about Steve Miller, his advisor.
Oh yeah, Steve Miller was there, but then there's a guy in the middle, the minority leader.
What, Schumer?
Yeah, Schumer. Thank you. Yep, Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, and they're sitting there. There's these pictures taken of Trump in the Oval Office right before the shutdown with these three guys, right? And they're just sitting back, and they're kind of in a comfortable position, right? And that kind of told me what I already suspected, and that was they all already agreed to shut the government down. This was a mutual thing on both sides of the aisle. I don't think that what we're being taught in the media or otherwise by the politicians is accurate. I think they decided together, hey, let's shut the government down, and they're going to clean the house and do whatever during this interim, and then reopen it when it's done. Because there's no reason to shut the government down. It was a continuing resolution from a bill.
Wait, hold on. You claim that there's no reason. So can you strawman the Democrat position to say why they, did not support the CR?
I have no clue why they wouldn't support a clean CR.
Okay, so you have no idea. You have no idea why the Democrats did not support the CR.
Unless Trump says,
but you're gonna make up reasons, right?
No, that's why
it sounded like that's what you're doing.
Yeah, that's why I told at the start. This is my personal opinion. So here, this
no, but it's okay. Wait. Personal opinion is one thing, but you can't just make up things and just say call it personal opinion.
I do it all the time.
Okay,
well,
I do it all the time.
That's fair.
There's a difference between opinion and fantasy. So,
Actually, that's a technique I use with the missus too.
okay, so the core of the sticking point here, from my understanding, and please, if y'all have a different understanding, tell me, is that they want to make sure that there are aspects of the ACA that are properly funded, and that proper funding is not in the CR. And the Democrats' concern is that if we don't dig our heels in now and die on this hill, there's going to be dodging and deflecting until it runs out, and then the ACA starts to wither on the vine. And so this is a principled stance on the part of the Democrats by saying, no, this is a policy that is popular and it matters to us. And we want to make sure that it gets the attention that it deserves.
And by the way, it almost seems like the Democrats care about people getting health care. That's the impression I'm getting. And I mean, how horrible of them to want people to have health care.
It's terrible. Why would we allow such a thing?
From what I understand, they want the illegal immigrants to also get health care. Is that
No,
what you're
that is
thinking?
no, that is a fact. That is a lie. That is a
Oh my
lie,
gosh.
and they know that it's a lie because nowhere in the
Oh
ACA,
my gosh. It's
Well,
it's actually illegal to
Yes.
give health care to illegal aliens.
I agree, but yet it
Right.
seems like
But you're saying that it did. You're saying that the Democrats want to give health care to illegal, quote unquote, illegal aliens. And that's
Yeah.
completely false, though.
well, they had the. Let's see, is my microphone acting up here? Can you hear me? Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is so much on Twitter either way on that issue, and I honestly don't know what to believe on it.
Okay,
So-
it's very simple.
When they had a bunch
Nowhere.
of Democrats on stage, the moderator asked the Democrats who's in favor of illegals getting health care, and they all raised their hand. There's like 10 of them in a semicircle, and they all raised their hand and said, yes, we want
Wait.
healthcare for
Did
the
it?
illegals.
Was the question illegal? What's the question to the Democrats? Do you support healthcare to illegal
Correct.
immigrants?
Okay,
That's
so-
what the
Even so, even if we take that example at face value, it is irrelevant to the purposes of the government shutdown. And here's why. Because the current writing of the ACA makes no allowances for the issuing of healthcare to illegal immigrants. No legislation is currently up for vote, debate, or in subcommittee that would give illegals access to the ACA. This is 100% a lie that's being perpetuated by the current administration so that they can poison the well and cast Democrats in a bad light.
But what did
There is-
Maxine Waters say on the steps when she was confronted by a reporter on this topic? I mean, she seemed to indicate, she outright said, I want insurance for everyone. You know, when she
okay.
was
So
cornered about that.
so that's fine. So that's fine. Some politician, some Democrat politician wants to extend health care to undocumented migrants, but that's not the issue about the government shutdown. That's what John is saying.
Right. I could stand here. If I were an elected official, I could tell you I want all kittens to have mittens. but there is no legislation currently up for votes. There's no legislation currently in subcommittee. There is nothing right now that is on the books about giving illegal immigrants access to the ACA. It is zero. And every time that Republicans are asked to show any kind of evidence that supports their claim, they dodge and deflect. They cannot point to a single paragraph, sentence, word, or letter that backs up this lie that they are perpetuating.
Well, that's why the
It's a
government should
lie,
not,
and they know that they are lying.
well, then that's why the government should not have shut down, right? I mean, it's a continuing resolution, so it should not have shut down. So the
Yeah,
question
but
is,
it's not the Democrats who shut the thing down. It's the Democrats cannot shut down the government. They don't have the votes.
yeah, they needed 60 votes, and there's not enough Republicans to do the 60. So
Right.
they needed,
But go back to the stated reason that they had for digging their heels in, because they want to make sure that the ACA is properly funded, and the continuing resolution, the CR, does not have provisions for funding. And the Democrats, looking at the history of how Trump comports himself and how the Republicans have always hated the ACA, They cannot act in good faith saying, okay, we'll give you this CR as long as you pinky swear that we're going to get ACA funding eventually. So they're saying this is a hill we want to die on because we know that it's, first of all, let's talk politic real. It's popular. So they know that they can take a popular stance on a popular issue. But
Right.
also, because this is a legacy program from Obama, and because this is something that they, as a party, have made one of their foundations and one of their foundational policies, they want to make sure that it continues. So that is why they said it has to be included in the current funding. So this is a principled stance on a policy that is part of the DNA of the current Democratic Party. So
How do you
please
think this?
explain to me how it is the Democrats' fault for saying, we want to make sure that this is funded. Please include this. No. Well, then you can't, then there is no CR.
No, I don't think it's the Democrats' fault. I don't even think it's the Republicans' fault. I think Trump coordinated this to happen. Then again, it's
I
just my
love the
opinion.
conspiratorial response.
So you got to look at when the big beautiful bill was passed, right? Like, how the heck did he get that passed? Because there were so many people against it. Excuse me. And yet he got
Well,
it
no,
passed.
the reason why is because some of the Republicans that were originally against it, they got hats signed by Trump, and they changed their votes.
I think it's
So
here's what's interesting, because Trump kept promising, I'm going to defund the whole Ukraine. Is that my microphone is static like that? He kept saying on the campaign trail, right? I'm going to make sure that funding to Ukraine stops. I'm going to make sure it stops. I'm going to make sure it stops. Over and over and over again, he kept saying, and right after the big beautiful bill was signed, the very next week he says, we're going to send a few $1 billion over to Ukraine to help them out because Russia can't have this kind of control. I'm like, wait a minute, you campaigned on stopping the funding, not just money, but also military equipment and personnel over to Ukraine. But here you're taking a complete opposite stance. And in my mind, just again, as a neutral person who's not aligned towards or against Trump, it sure seemed to me he got those signatures for the big, beautiful bill by promising, okay, you sign my big, beautiful bill, and I'll make sure that payments to Ukraine continue. Now, fast forward to our day, I think it's
wait,
exactly
where are you getting that?
me. I read it from my own Orange Unit Weekly Digest.
Well, as long as we have the trust me, bro line of reasoning. It comes down to this. Trump has made it very clear he has zero intention of acting in good faith when it comes to his negotiations. He never has. And so we're in a position now where Democrats have said, okay, we're tired of getting pushed around on crap like this. And so this is something that's important, and we want to make sure that this gets funded. So we're going to make a big deal out of this. And if you look at the history of government shutdowns, Trump having the record for the longest continuous government shutdown, he folds like a map.
So you think he's going to fold it? How do you think this is going to end? What do you think? Because eventually the government's going to open back up. I mean, it always does. At least I assume that it's going to open back up. But that's, again, an assumption. We don't know that either. It may not open up. But what do you think it's going to take? I mean, you think Trump is going to acquiesce in this case and say, okay, I'll do whatever it is you want done, which is what?
His ego, I don't think, will allow him to be the president that resided over the number 1 and number 2 longest government shutdowns, especially since his popularity right now is slipping. So I think his ego will get in the way. I think we might have my guess is that we've got about a week, maybe 2 of posturing, and then we're going to hear talks of back channel conversations of something being put together. So my feeling is that the ACA is going to get some funding. It'll be reduced. It
won't be permanent, which is what the Democrats want. So I think the Republicans will kind of throw a little bit of just a little bit of concession and maybe some promises. Hey, we'll have a reasoned discussion after this, and it'll just disappear once the the
Yeah.
bill passes.
So that's my prophecy. Everybody,
Just-
everybody, write it down.
Just wanted to
Sounds
correct some,
reasonable.
just wanted to correct some errors that earlier. The continuing, just did a little bit of looking. Continuing resolutions, being that they're to do with appropriations, only require 50 votes to pass, not 60. And there were 2 votes: a Democratic bill and a Republican bill, and they failed 47 to 45 and 44 to 48, and that was because 8 Republicans were not present in the House for the vote or did not vote.
Right.
So it wasn't Democrats who sunk the bill. They cannot have done it by themselves. It had to be Republicans.
According to
sunk the
Grok,
bill.
it's 60.
Yeah, no, that's well, this one's saying that it failed because of that thing. There's an issue about filibuster, but the filibuster is not available for appropriations, is my understanding.
Okay, well, according to Grok, which of course is not 100% always accurate, but it does say CRs generally require a submajority of 60 votes to invoke cloture and overcome a potential filibuster before
There it
advancing
is.
to final
The filibuster.
passage. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it used to be that if you opposed a bill and you wanted to do a filibuster, you had to get up there and actually, pound on the table until you ran out of breath and sat down. But in order to stop that from happening, they put in a procedural rule saying that if you can get 60 votes, so basically well in advance of a majority.
Oh no, you're right. Filibuster is available for continuing for appropriations bills, but did the Democrats pull a filibuster because they didn't need to? They didn't even no one got to 50 votes, so there was no filibuster involved. So
my Robert's rules and my procedural wonkiness is a little rusty. Because really this is just the maneuvering and the machinations in the background so that we can get certain things passed and other things can just sort of die on the vine. What you're seeing here is what happens when you have one party that controls both the House, the Senate, and the White House. And I say this for Republican and Democrat, because you're able to get things done if you have enough votes to not ever have to worry about any kind of filibuster. You can just ignore the other party, which is very much not what the founding fathers had intended.
yeah, it's one of the good reasons for having the ability to vote in minor parties.
Yes.
Because those minor parties can move back and forth and allow negotiation into this sort of space. It works quite well, and it's also a good way to demonstrate that you're unhappy with the main government when the minor parties become significantly less than minor.
Yes.
Over time. So the main parties get spanked for not paying enough attention. And now they're beholden to either, in Australia, we've had them beholden to the Green Party, and we had a vote a few years ago where we had essentially a group that were called Teal. Were essentially teal, as in that slightly off greeny blue color.
Yeah, I was like, what?
They all voted, they were all sort of under this, but they're ostensibly independents. And there was a big flood of them got in, and that does that. We also have, I'd like to say, in Australia, we have a politician by the name of Jackie Lambie. She's super conservative, and I think she's one of the most wonderful people we've got in our entire parliament. I disagree with her policies almost on everything, but she's conservative and honest as hell. So
I never have to worry what she's thinking.
Yeah, she'll tell you what she's thinking. She's also ex-military as well. So
a straight shooter.
Yeah, she is definitely a straight shooter, practiced as well.
So just like Trump, you're saying a straight shooter.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. She didn't have a problem with bone spurs. Hey, there was a question earlier that Ook put up, saying, "What's wrong with where was it? What's wrong with giving I
thought it was
to anyone?"
compulsory voting.
Yeah, no, well, before the compulsory voting, but giving anyone in the country healthcare. That happens in Australia. It doesn't matter if you're who you are. If you're ill,
Right.
you get healthcare.
I agree.
Actually, let me. So
Totally.
I think the issue with some of the Republican idea that, oh no, this healthcare is going to help undocumented immigrants. So Orange, would you have an issue of having a healthcare service where little bit of it, let's say 1% of it, goes to an illegal immigrant or illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants? Would you have an issue with that? Would you not pass that bill because there's a possibility that 1% of that money could go to undocumented migrants?
I think the whole thing is so completely absurd. I think if an undocumented immigrant was in the United States and they had an emergency and they needed help right at that moment, they need to be given that help. I mean, this is
That's
about
right.
humanity. This isn't even about
Right.
politics. This is about showing love of neighbor, and showing love of neighbor does not know boundaries, right? Jesus didn't put that as conditional in the Bible. He said to love your
Yeah,
neighbor.
regardless of Jesus, but that is how the Republicans are
Yeah,
what they're using to say that, oh, the Democrats want to prioritize illegals over citizens because they support a healthcare where some of that money could go to save or go to someone who is in dire emergency where they could die if they don't get service or if they don't get medical care. They don't want that. That's what they are against, and that's what they're using to lie and say that the Democrats prioritize illegal immigrants over or undocumented immigrants over citizens. It's completely false and disingenuous. But I mean, when I say people like you, I mean with all due respect. That's where you guys get that hear that and think, oh my God, those damn Democrats. They would rather take away money from citizens so that they can help undocumented migrants.
yeah,
That's
and the
how it's,
irony being
that's what's happening.
undocumented immigrants also contribute enormously to the tax income of the United States,
Yeah,
but they don't get any services. So
So I'm going to
yeah,
attempt to maybe not steel man the Republican position here, but at least clarify from what I understand of it. At its base is this idea that all resources are finite. And so if you allow for resources to be going to somebody who didn't follow the rules and is here, then for every unit of healthcare that you give to somebody who didn't follow the rules, you're taking that unit away from somebody who has been following the rules.
Yes,
So
but the concern is that, because out of the 100 units, 1 unit might go to an undocumented migrants. We're going to give 0 units to everyone,
everyone else, right? No,
right? It's
I'm not saying that I agree with the position.
yeah. No, I get it. But it is the whole kind of, cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Sure.
That's
Well, I think there's enough exaggeration on both sides going on here. I think he hit on both of them actually, because nobody is not going to have health insurance. And it came out last time when I was on that I'm an EMT, and I render aid to elderly people almost on a daily basis, and some of them have insurance, some of them don't, but I've never had one say, oh, I had insurance until this government shutdown, now I don't have insurance. And I really honestly don't think you'll find a person that says that. So that's an exaggeration on the part of Democrats, and you're right about the exaggeration on the part of the Republicans. And what the Republicans are doing that's wrong is they're looking at polls, right? They're looking at What do the American people want? Oh, 70% don't want health care for illegal immigrants, so we're going to stand by that black and white number. Whereas the Democrats seem to have a little bit more heart on this particular issue, but they just need to come out and say it. They need to own that, but they're not even doing it. You don't see the Democrats going out and say, "Hey, this is about humanity. This isn't about partisan regulatory means. This is about humanity. We're supposed to show love for a neighbor." I don't care if they quote scripture or not. That's just me, but
Sure.
they should at least own it and say, "We want health care for all." And Maxine
Wait,
Waters.
wait. Are you saying that the Democrats are not saying that?
Well, Maxine Waters did, but then she shut that reporter down right after she realized she said it. And I don't see the Democrats stepping up and saying, because even you outright said at the beginning of this conversation, show me.
Wait,
show me where
so do you are you saying that every Democrats have to say it, or is it okay
No.
if some of them say it?
I think if the minority leader would at least come out and represent the Democrats on this stance, I think it would go a long way to shift public perception, because I think the polling is 70, 80, 90, whatever percent of Americans don't want undocumented immigrants to have health insurance. And I think that's wrong. Personally, that's my opinion. And I get why they don't want that. They're saying, well, they're here illegally. Why should they get benefits that somebody else could get? So I get their logic, even if I don't agree with it. But I think the Democrats should own it and change public perception of it, so that the Republicans who are just looking at the bottom line say, yeah, you know what, we probably should adjust our view on this. Let's get together, let's work this out and get the government functional again. I don't think it's that complicated, unless Trump wanted this to happen and convinced both parties, we do need to do a shutdown, we need to do some cleaning. It's like a stock market correction. Let's do some corrections here and then get up and running again. I don't know.
So my deeply cynical political side looks at this as Trump finding yet another way to deflect away from Epstein, because that was starting to really stick. And there's a part of me that really can't rule out the idea that he saw this as a way of this taking the oxygen out of that, and so that the government's shutdown is what's controlling the news cycle right now.
I don't think he cares about Epstein. I think he's addressed it.
We 100%.
What?
No, I really.
Wow.
No, seriously, and here's why. Here's why I don't think he cares, because whenever he's confronted on it by reporters, he just blows them off. Right? He just blows them off. He says, "Oh, Epstein again. We're moving on from that," and then he does. He moves
Okay.
on.
Wait, why do you think he says that?
Probably because he's in the files. I
I
don't know.
know.
I can't think of any other reason other than that he's probably in the files, right? I mean, he could be, and I think that has
No, so
already come
when
out.
you say that he doesn't care, if he didn't care, he would release the files. I think that's about it.
Remember that when he was campaigning, he said, "Yeah, I want to release the files." And Kash Patel and Dan Bongino were adamant that the files needed to be released. And then the Attorney General, whose name is escaping my brain right now for some reason. Thank you. Said, "It's on my desk." And then all of a sudden, "Why are you talking about Epstein? Stop talking about Epstein." And it's because he's in the damn files. They were friends. He visited the island. And I'm not suggesting for a moment that Trump did anything inappropriate with a minor, but he was on the island where inappropriate things with minors were taking place.
So pretty much guilt by association, so to speak.
Let's not forget, he bought the Miss Teen USA pageant and then bragged about going backstage to pervert the naked.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bragged about it.
He bragged about it.
So you think he's using the government and the American people to split the baby, so to speak, to divert from attention on Epstein? Because see, I mean, I guess the argument that I would make if I were a Republican is I would say, well, Democrats have had these files for 19 years. They could have released it any time during that time. but refused.
19 years?
It was
They
19
had it for
years.
19 years?
They've had the Epstein files
Really?
for 19 years.
Okay, here's my
Yeah,
here's my
So
so here's my
four of
answer
those
to that.
years is during Trump time, right?
But even Biden
Here's
did
my
it.
response to that.
Mhm.
So what?
I know,
The
but
reality-
see, there was a good
reality is-
opportunity. There's a good opportunity for
Okay.
Biden to
Fine,
destroy
they dropped.
Trump.
Fine, they dropped. You know what? I 100% agree. They dropped the ball. So what?
Yeah, but the fact is, there's probably Democrats in there as well. Bill Clinton was tight with him, and
Oh, he's 100% in
so
the
were
file.
Yes, he
there were a
was.
bunch
Oh
of
my
people like
good Lord,
Richard
the pictures
Dawkins
alone.
was tight with him, and there's a
Prince
lot of
Andrew.
people. Yeah, there's a lot of people on the left who are tight with Epstein as well. So
Oh yeah.
you know,
They'll never be released ever.
yeah, burn the whole lot of them down.
Oh,
You know,
I'm
the
right. I'm
people
right there
involved.
with you on
Hey,
that. one.
I'll join in
Yeah.
that.
Kamala could be president right after Trump, and she will still not release the files. I mean, whoever is Democratic president next will not release the files because of that very reason. It's too. Once those people die, maybe they'll release the files because it'll be done and over with.
But
Or
that's a
they
long way
still,
away.
or maybe they
And I
won't.
will, I will give credit where credit is due on this. And God, does it make my brain itch to have to say this out loud? But Marjorie Taylor Greene was
And
did a
Rand
press.
Paul,
What's up?
I think Rand Paul is
Yeah.
also voting to release it as well.
Yes. And Lauren Boebert was also has been very vocal about releasing the files. We don't agree on much, but she's on the right. But those two are people that I hate politically, but they are intellectual consistency. They're on the right side of this one. And now, and again, after I didn't the Dems, okay, they didn't. They dropped the ball. They dropped the
Because
ball.
majority of the documents were sealed under court order, and the Supreme Court extended that appeal deadline twice. That kept all the incriminating evidence in limbo until conveniently after the election.
Yep.
And then there was a Democratic judge in August who blocked the release.
Yes, because procedurally he couldn't. He wasn't in a position. It would have been illegal because
yeah,
it was
also-
about the grand jury testimony,
jury.
which
And
had
the-
nothing to do with the files.
Yeah.
But the MAGA wants to use that to say, "Oh no, the Democrat judge didn't release it." I mean, it's
Yeah.
just
The
ridiculous.
fact of the matter is, the evidence is with the Department of Justice. They don't need the information from the grand jury, which was just about getting an indictment on Ghislaine Maxwell. It's not about who got blackmailed or who went and visited the island. They didn't need any of that. So there's not the information that they're after in that list anyhow. That's why the Republicans asked for it, because they figured they probably would get a no. But if they got a yes, it wouldn't be incriminating anyhow because they know what was in there. They've got the transcripts at the DOJ of what was said at the grand jury anyhow, so they know they were safe.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that because we don't know, right? The transcripts haven't been released. Like that could have been the foundation. That could have been the starting point for a huge investigation. There are probably a lot of names.
No. That's not how the grand jury works. The grand jury that they were wanting to get released was the grand jury stuff about the indictment of Ghislaine Maxwell.
Correct.
And there is no requirement to do a big investigation about all this other stuff. You're only there to get the indictment of Ghislaine Maxwell, and all they needed to do was show one example of Ghislaine Maxwell trafficking a minor, one example, and that could have been trafficked to Epstein himself. So that was all that was required to get the indictment, and then they could take that to court. So there won't be anything in there.
Well, I don't understand why they're holding it back, though. If that's all it is, then it's really
Because it's
damaging.
Yeah, but because it's grand jury testimony, and there's a set of rules that are in the standards that says these are the reasons why you're allowed to release, under which you can release grand jury testimony, and these are the only rules. And none of the stuff the government asked, like that put up, hit any of those rules. It's illegal. The law says they cannot release it.
It'll be like if they made a request to the judge, go kill your wife and give us a picture of it.
Yep.
It's just
Yeah.
like asking
The
the
judge would
judge
say
to
no.
do something that they have no power, they cannot do. And they knew that the judge wouldn't be able to release the file, but they asked it so that they can have that spin to say that, oh, we wanted to release it, but the judge wouldn't release it.
Well, they need to start releasing some stuff to put this whole issue to bed once and for all.
Yes,
Well,
the files.
here's
the
the thing.
files that was on Pam Bondi's desk.
Yeah,
They need
here's
to
the thing,
release
though.
them.
The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, is refusing to swear in the new House member who would give the final vote necessary to release a bunch of these files. And he is actively doing everything he can to stop that person being sworn in and thus prevent the files from being released.
That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, Mike
It's
Johnson.
almost like it's on purpose.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's political
It's
theater.
almost like the things that happen with politics affect us, and maybe we should have a say in that.
Well, so it is political theater. So I agree. So, Orange, why would Mike Johnson go through these political machinations to prevent the release of the files? Why would he do that?
Yeah, and that's been identified already here in this discussion that there's just too many people that would be implicated in this. I've heard that there'd be
No,
people.
not too many people. Just the one person
Yeah,
one.
doesn't-
who's stopping
Just
yeah,
the big
because
one.
Trump doesn't give a shit
Just the
about
big
anyone.
fish.
I can guarantee if his two sons were in that list, he would release the list. If they were in it, but he wasn't, he'd be releasing the list and throwing them under the bus because he doesn't care about anyone but himself.
I don't know
We
about
saw
that.
that. We saw that with his question about Charlie Kirk and the how are you doing after the death of Charlie Kirk? Oh, and did you see the ballroom? Like, absolutely zero fucks given about
Well-
his apparent good friend.
Well, the bigger question is why haven't we seen the Golden Fork Knox yet? Well, because there isn't any, and Trump realizes that after the fact, oh, there's no
What?
gold in Fort Knox. Shoot, I just opened a can of worms I shouldn't have stepped into, and so
He's
now
put it all around the White House.
So wait, let me get this. Are you suggesting?
We've seen it.
Are you suggesting that Donald Trump might have mouthed off about something that he had no clue what he was talking about?
I think there's
Surely you just.
I think there's a lot.
Okay,
of,
wait.
I think there's a
Hey,
lot of
Orange,
that.
are you actually being serious that you think that there is no gold in Fort Knox?
I
Or
think
are you just joking?
I think if there was gold in Fort Knox, they would have just said that. But the fact that Trump was saying we're going to go in with cameras and with Elon Musk and this is going to be live streamed and blah blah. We want to see the gold in Fort Knox, and then all of a sudden the issue has disappeared. Tells me something's wrong with that situation. And I'm not going to say that
Okay,
there's no gold
so-
in Fort Knox, but I think I don't think there's enough of it.
I actually might be able to shed a little bit of light on what may have happened there, because I know I have quite a few friends that have levels of security clearance where I've got one friend who won't even acknowledge that he works for the government, but he 100% does. At least that's my conjecture. Please don't kill me. So there are, when it comes to matters of sources and methods, it might not be that the revealing of the gold in Fort Knox it's not the gold itself per se. It's that the process of having to show the security measures might reveal more information than the security apparatus would want put out there. In other words, it's not the gold, but how you get to the gold that they don't want out there. And so that could be what caused, because somebody may have come up to Trump and said, you don't want this getting out. You can't let this get out. So that could be that's conjecture, but that's what passes my sniff test on this one.
Sure. So it could be that, or it could be there's no gold in there, and if that got revealed, it would cause a global economic collapse, which is a certainty if it turned out there wasn't the gold to back up the American dollar, which is
We haven't been on the gold
Hogwash.
standard.
Come on.
It's
Come on. The
hogwash.
dollar
I know,
is not
I know,
backed
I
by
know,
the gold.
I know. So but exactly. So, but I'm using that as an illustration. All of a sudden, this hot topic that Trump was bringing up week after week after week after week, all of a sudden, boom, gone, disappears.
Well, that's
Nobody's
just how
talking
Trump
about it.
works. Because the whole
So-
topic of invading of getting Canada as a 51st state gone. The
sure.
topic of annexing Greenland
Greenland.
gone.
Greenland.
Yeah, he just keeps bouncing from idea to idea. That we're going to build the wall. That was the only thing he talked about in his first thing. Never been brought up again.
Yeah, you know,
It
and
just
that's,
he just bounces from brain fart to brain fart.
I think a lot of it he does just to make the media go into a frenzy, into a tailspin. And if that's his objective, I think
Okay,
it's
so
a
the problem
brilliant move.
is that when you're a real estate tycoon in New York, you can do that. But when you're the president of the United States and wars can begin or end on what you say, it is absolutely irresponsible to be that blithe with your comments.
Well, they're kind of inconsequential comments. The annexation of Greenland, who cares? Who cares if Greenland annexes from Denmark or not? I mean, really, the sunrise
He
is
said
gonna,
his son there.
is gonna-
It'd mean war
Well,
with
not just
Europe.
his son. He also sent someone very important, a martyr. He
Yeah,
sent Charlie there as well, Charlie Kirk.
yeah.
Is
And
he
if
murdered now?
they invaded it, it would be the US going to war with Europe.
Yep.
yeah, he's not going to. But he took Panama,
Absolutely.
didn't he? Didn't he take Panama? He said he was going to take Panama around the
Yeah,
same
but then
time.
he didn't as well. So
Well, I
he
think-
had a brain fart there as well
No,
because
I
he
think he
wanted
got
to make the shipping cheaper.
No, I think they took it over. I'm pretty sure of that. Not 100% sure, but I'm like 90% sure the United States
Just-
government took over Panama. The canal, not the
No.
country, but the
Yeah,
canal.
a hilarious thing that I just discovered though is that the gold store is looked after by the Mint Police.
Oh, sweet.
I just saw that and I went, "Oh, that is one of the funniest things I've ever heard." It is.
It
the
would have
Mint
been
Police.
better if it was a peppermint police. 'Cause I-
Yeah.
Oh, I can already
Well, if they
see.
go around, if someone tries to break in and they spray them with pepper spray, it's a peppermint spray.
yeah.
Yeah, United States Mint Police. It's
So-
a real
so
thing. Department
Trump-
of the Treasury. So
Right.
good.
Okay,
Wait, so do you
let's back up.
think that there isn't a regular audit of the gold? Do you think that's the case? No one
I don't think
audits
so.
it.
No.
You don't think there's countless number of people who would have to somehow be, I don't know, bribed or otherwise told to lie about the gold?
Maybe. I mean, that's a possibility.
I mean,
but
the level of conspiracy that's needed for the amount of gold that's supposed to be in there for it not to be there, for it to be completely
The level
that
of
would be-
competence required to pull the conspiracy off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Apparently the
higher.
government can't do anything, but they can keep these conspiracies under
Yeah,
wraps.
We couldn't invade Cuba.
that is true. So here's my point, just to backtrack quite a few steps in this discussion. Trump is a businessman first. He's an entertainer second. He's a politician third. And I think he's
No,
been
I'm going
outright.
to say that he's an entertainer first.
He's an entertainer. I love watching him give his speeches. I laugh every time. Of course, it doesn't take much for me to laugh. I laugh at pretty much everything. So that's not
Well, you
saying
laugh at
much.
my
but-
jokes, so we know that.
Yeah.
but the thing is, when he ran for president the first time, he outright said, "I'm not going to run this as a politician. You're not voting in a politician. You're voting in a businessman. I'm going to run this as a company that has income and expenditures, which the United States government is a company. It's a corporation with a president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. So the Secretary of State and Treasury Department." And he's running it as a business that has income and expenditures, and he's trying to do what brings in the most amount of money with the least amount going out, and that's where we're at. He's trying to
But
run
that's
it as
not
a
what
business.
that's not what he did as a businessman. What he did was he bankrupted companies.
Yeah, he bankrupted
Man,
everyone he had a chance to.
The man went bankrupt running a casino.
Three casinos, 3 times.
Yeah, which apparently is legal. Well, I don't know why it is, but apparently it is. So, did he do something illegal? No.
Yeah,
Did he do something
casinos are-
unethical?
Casinos are a
Yes.
license. Casinos are a license to print money. So
Yeah, it's
much
not about it
so
being
that we
illegal,
have
it's
a
about
phrase-
it being incompetent.
we have
Yeah.
a phrase
So-
for it. The
Yeah.
house always wins, except when it's run by
Right.
Trump.
Well, they don't even have to print money anymore. They just
the fact that he's this idea that he's this business tycoon just does not bear any semblance to reality.
No, he did commit a crime though. With his dad. His dad went and sent his fixer down there to buy a whole pile, like $50 million worth of chips at one of his casinos.
Oh, really?
And then walked out with the chips.
Oh,
and just left the money behind.
That is very illegal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this idea that he's that he's this savvy businessman is absolute garbage.
Well, I don't know about savvy, but he did outright say, I mean, this is his words, not mine.
Sure, right.
His words that he's going to run it like a business, not as a politician. And keep in mind,
meaning he'll bankrupt the country.
That's already supposedly bankrupt, but I doubt that. That's a whole different topic. And I know I've DM'd you about this before, QC, that I don't believe that the government's in debt at all, not even by one penny. And I can prove it to you. The government is not in debt. You know, they say, oh, it's $40 trillion in debt or whatever it is currently. It's not. It's not even in debt by one penny. It's not. The whole thing is political theatrics.
Well, it is sort of true what you're saying there, but it's also sort of not. Because, yes, there is debt that the government has to pay off, but they can pay that off by just printing it.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
So, but the problem
the government could just bring the economy to a halt, and then, we're no longer bankrupt.
They just print the money, but the problem with that is it causes hyperinflation. So, so there's a real balancing act. It's not the same. It doesn't work the same way.
There's a lot of South American and African countries who are not in debt because now they have to pay $1 trillion whatever monetary thing is in order to buy bread.
Did you ever see
I also have an email from a Nigerian prince who's in a really bad situation.
Oh,
let's help him out.
Let's go back to my old.
There's also I'm trying to remember the name of it, and I think you guys might know. It's modern monetary theory.
Yeah,
which is that yes, the government can be in debt, but the fact that it's in debt is actually resulting in a net economic positive because the stuff that it invests in yields profit in the private sector and therefore job growth and economic prosperity. So it's kind of like, yes, you've dug the sand. So it is in debt in that it has more money going out than coming back in. But the economy as a whole is stronger as a result.
Right. Yeah. So they know the days of printing money to cover are gone. Right. They just change numbers in a computer. Now, once the Treasury Department or the Federal Reserve or both of them are adjusting numbers in their own computers, now they can invest that money, right? They can invest that in the stock market. They turn that fake money literally into real money because that money goes out to these companies who now invest it. They hire more employees, they expand their operations or whatever, which results in better revenue for them, which then eventually gets back to the government in the form of taxes if that company pays taxes. So the government has a great, fantastic way of turning fake money into real money just by sending it through the system. And then it comes back to them in the form of taxes as real money. So, the fact that the whole government is in debt.
You've got to be careful with how much you do, because otherwise you get what we have on the screen here, which is the Zimbabwean $100 trillion note.
That'll buy you a Snicker bar.
It's a genuine note. This was genuinely printed by the Bank of Zimbabwe.
That's crazy.
I know. It's one of the best things I've ever seen.
You can't just flood the economy with.
You can buy this note for $275 on eBay.
Oh, that's funny.
Which is
probably more than what it's worth.
Way more than it originally could buy with. Way more than it was originally worth.
Yes. That's a hell of an investment right there.
Yeah, it's just brilliant.
So it's one of those things where, and I took a couple of 200 and 300 level economics courses, and so Ook talks about how money isn't real, and it's as real as we want it to be.
It's perceptional value.
So what money does?
Like justice and beauty and
what's up?
like justice and beauty and all that sort of stuff.
right,
None of
yeah.
that's real.
Yeah,
That's all in our
It
head.
has
it's a concept. It's not
Yeah.
actually concrete. It's a concept.
yeah, basically it smooths the medium of exchange. If we had
Yeah.
if we went off of a strict barter system, yeah, people give money its value, which that is effectively true. Where back when we had the gold standard, which we stopped being on the gold standard, I think back in Nixon.
Yeah, I
Um,
believe so.
you could actually trade in your money for that amount of gold. So so our money was actually tied to a physical object that actually had an intrinsic value, because you can do stuff with gold. I mean, it tastes terrible, but you could use it to make things. So
Yeah.
and those things would have utilitarian value. I'm going to stop before I go too far down the really wonky economics rabbit hole. But basically,
because the value of the gold isn't because you can do things with it, right? It's not because you can make a ring with it.
So it's this idea that, because at the time when it was tied to gold, you can do things with it. It's good for electronics. It's good for making things. It's shiny.
Mostly it is actually these days, as far as use in the world. My understanding is it's bought by people in India as dowry.
Yeah,
its principal use, outside of its use as a financial instrument.
Yeah, it's basically it comes down to if you look at the periodic table of elements, there's a reason why silver, platinum, and gold kind of ended up being the shiny rocks that we like to trade with and go to war over. It's stable enough, unlike the gases. There's enough of it that we can fight over it, and everybody gets some. But it's hard enough to get to that you have to consolidate power to get to it. So
so the value is a scarcity, and because of the scarcity, you give it value, and in a lot of senses, no different from paper money. It's a value that you apply to it.
Bitcoin has the same thing going, because it has an inherent scarcity, as opposed to the meme coins, which have no scarcity.
Right. Well, but
they only have the scarcity that the person creating them creates for it.
Well, so Bitcoin is an interesting example, because the reason why the dollar has value is because it is backed by the full faith and power of the United States government. The franc has the full backing of the French government, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The $100 trillion Zimbabwe note. But Bitcoin has no centralized authority backing it up.
It has but it still has a scarcity that limits its ability to become.
But that's what makes it so inherently volatile. Whereas currencies don't typically lurch wildly. I mean, there are certainly examples throughout history, but the Bitcoin is basically just it's a techno commodity. In that sense, it's no different than pork or lead, silver, wood, oil.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's not currency, but it is a commodity. And I've got Bitcoin advocates in my circle of friends, and we have this conversation all the time. I once managed to stump a room full of programmers by asking them, if I use cryptocurrency to buy an NFT, has anything actually happened?
No.
There were a couple of lines are written into a few blockchains.
Oh, yeah, but other than that, nothing actually happened.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: if you transfer $100 from bank A to bank B, did anything actually happen?
Well, so yes, I mean you've got the account, and that $100 is in theory it's tied to buying power, which is again that's much more subjective value than being able to buy $100 worth of widgets, which if you've got it backed by a widget, then that widget's value is tied to how useful that widget is. Just so like, gold, silver, platinum, wood, oil, those things all have a usefulness to them. You can apply them to the real world. Whereas Bitcoin doesn't. A strong enough magnet, and you wipe out Bitcoin.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You can wipe out your own Bitcoin, but a fire will wipe out your own cash. But you can't because of the multiple locations of the blockchain.
Right, and that's why banks exist. Is that banks exist as a way of keeping currency accountable in a very real sense. It also is it's also used for community growth and development, and there's all kinds. The history of banking is really kind of interesting if you want to get super nerdy. But the idea of, if you take cash out and you put it in your mattress and then you set your mattress on fire, yes, you've destroyed that money. You've destroyed, but the economists will tell you that you've gotten value out of the use of the money because you had the joy of burning it and you also got the heat, which is kind of a flippant way of saying that money still has a usefulness. But if you keep it in a bank and the bank burns down, again, the government has insured that money and said, okay, no matter what happens to this institution, you will get your money. That's one of the things that was causing such a problem when during the mortgage crisis of 2008. I was a mortgage broker at the time, and because banks put so much money and so much investment, your money, my money, everybody that had, tilting is right up to $250,000, because they put it into such toxic assets that everybody called in their loans so that they could start covering the costs and covering the interest that they were supposed to be giving out to people's bank accounts. And essentially there was a run on the bank, just like there was during the stock market crash of 29. There was because of perceived future value, not even perceived current value. So I'm sorry, I've gone down a rabbit hole.
Basically, it just over-leveraged all their assets.
Yeah, it's so what they were lending money and at interest rates based on what houses were going to be in the future. It was this idea that the housing market is so hot now that it'll cool off and plateau before we have to start paying this money back. And so you're burning your assets. So they gambled and lost. Is sort of the gross oversimplification of what happened during the mortgage crisis. They had liquidity up to a certain point, but because they lent money on $100,000, they lent money on a house that was worth $100,000. They would lend $120,000 on the bet that house would be worth $150,000 before they would have to start paying money back. And it basically it kind of turned into a bit of a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme in that sense. Well, I hope you all took notes. There's going to be a quiz. And,
I'll ace that quiz, no problem. Thank you very much.
Yes, I thought I'd pop this up. I went and did something. I joined Blue Sky.
Hey!
Blue
So,
Sky. Okay. No one's on Blue Sky though.
Yeah, I know, but fuck Elon. So I'll be over here. So the only thing I've posted up there is a picture of of a completely unrelated thing from that's happened during the week. We had to bring our tank home from where my wife works because they're currently replacing the air conditioning units out there, and it'll be 3 weeks without any air conditioning. And yeah, on Thursday we had a 39-degree day.
Ooh.
So, yeah, that's well beyond what they can handle without dying. So we brought that home and then thought, you know what? It'd be interesting if we could manage to breed our 2 koi better. And yes, we've done that. So successfully, this is a little photo of a little bit of bubble wrap, and then the bubble nest is built in underneath it. And it's a bit hard to see, but there are eggs all through it. And those eggs are now tiny little, you know, about the size of a mite. They really look like there's a little black speck that swims around, and there's hundreds of these little guys swimming around now. So that'd be pretty cool. But
Looks beautiful.
yeah,
So
it's
there's 2 Blargomen on Blue Sky.
yeah, one of them's Bluggelman Skeptic too, and has a picture
Yeah.
of a what do you call it, of the little willy wagtail. So
Well, is there does Blargoman mean something, that there's another
no, it's
person
just a
who has
nonsense word.
So it's not you, right? The Blargoman.
No, the other one's not
these
me.
guys
No.
Oh, it's a nonsense word that someone else used.
Yeah,
That's bizarre.
it's odd, but you know, there's
Maybe someone is a
billion
fan
people.
of yours from YouTube.
Yeah, I
There's
don't
a
know.
few YouTubers called Blog,
Oh,
so it seems to be a common nonsense word.
yeah, it can't be
Yeah.
just a nonsense word. It must mean something.
I don't know. But
It has to be
anyway,
something, man.
so yeah, I'm there, and I also wanted to give.
You have like 1 follower.
Do I? When that
Well,
happened?
look.
Wait, I have a fan?
Yeah, look! Hooray! I'm famous.
Yay!
Are you showing something? Oh, you want to show?
No, I spotted
there
it. I
it is.
can. Yeah. So, yeah, there it is. Yeah, follower.
Yeah. By the way, we're at the end of today's stream. I'm not sure what happened, but I don't see Flowjob on here.
I was gonna say so
But
about
we
that.
just missed him.
Yeah, we
must
must
have.
just missed him.
No.
It keeps on happening. I'm not sure
What
what's
a
going
loser.
on.
What a
Like,
loser.
Whip.
But by the way, my prediction did come true. My prophecy did come
Oh,
true.
yes.
He'll be running away once again by not showing up. And eventually, I think he will make a post that we're the one who are running away.
Somebody needs to be the YouTube spectator among us to keep up with all that.
Well, QC, we did have one theist in the panel today, so Orange, you glad he was the one that showed up?
That was a good one.
There we go.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm here all week. By the veal, tip your waitress.
I just wanted to play a little snippet out of a YouTube video that deals with racism in a kind of an interesting way. So yeah, we'll
Go ahead.
add that
Where
one
is
to
that?
stage.
All right.
And what's going on here? That one?
That was
Golly,
short.
that was not the one I was
What
after.
happened?
Uh,
Oh,
It was the wrong one.
it's not the
so-
white wine.
Yes, the white wine. That should be the one. You can see that. All right,
Yeah.
let's try that again. This is the catering show, spelt with a K,
Oh,
by 2 Australian comedians by the name of Kate.
White wine goes well with white people, funerals, and it really brings out the rice taste in risotto. This is a Pinot Grigio and a Pinot Gris. One of them is made from younger grapes and it's fine for me to drink. The other one is made from more mature grapes that are picked later, so its wine is sweeter and it's full of fructose. If I drank it, it would vibe on my guts. But which is which? Well, I remember with a little saying I was taught. Pinot Grigio grapes are harvested earlier because it's an Italian wine and the Italians are impatient and passionate and want things straight away. Whereas
That is
Pinot
so
Gris
true.
grapes are left on the vine for longer because the French are lazy. Yeah. In hindsight, whoever taught me that saying is a massive racist. But enough about my dad. Let's try the fructose-free Pinot Grigio.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful.
They are hilarious. There's a Thermomix episode. It's one of the funniest things. If you know anyone who owns a Thermomix, it just cracks me up. Yeah, they're very good.
I'll have to keep that in mind. Do you mind putting
Wait,
the
so
link to that in the comments?
Yeah. I will indeed.
Please and
All
thank
right.
you.
So Ook said blarg is an informal interjection used to express frustration, disappointment, or boredom. And even if that's not true, it is now.
Yes.
It's the story of my life and my wife's life.
Blarg.
Language is inherently transient, so
Yes, there you go.
No flow job. All right. Oh, by the way, ever since the last time when I showed that video where he came on and promised that he would actually show up to this, he hasn't actually said anything or accused anyone of
Other than
being
just
a
a
coward.
yeah, no, it's
Other than just inane ramblings, no, nothing's different.
I think Orange is kind of confused of who we are talking about, but one day you'll
I'm working
find out
through it.
when he shows up.
It's you got to go on the Atheist Experience channel and just look under the comments on any video.
Yeah.
You'll find out.
You'll spot him immediately.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
By the way, do you ever watch that, Orange? The Atheist Experience channel?
I have not watched that. No.
I would actually recommend over that. I would recommend that you watch Deconstruction Zone because he is someone. So Justin, who's the host of that, he knows the Bible inside and out, especially in regard to what a lot of apologists throw out to try to support their position, and his big, I guess, message is that Jesus did not fulfill a single messianic prophecy. So you get a lot of people who come on and give the same old, like Isaiah and different places, and he, shoots them down. And, just from, if you are to believe his biblical scholarship, it seems to make sense. But of course, when you are kind of bought into the some of the what you think the Bible says, it's hard to hear. But let me just bring it up so that you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so it's this Deconstruction Zone, and I
And
think
he
he
is
has
very
another
good.
channel, Deconstruction Zone Debates, DZ Debates. But at the very least, it's good to hear the arguments so that you kind of can at least hear the other side. So
Sure.
And-
And you've
definitely
had this guy on
recommend
your program, or tried to?
no.
He's showed up in our comments a few times, but he's not really been any major member of the group.
Gotcha.
there was Kentucky Atheist showed up a couple times. He's pretty good to watch.
Yeah.
If you well, actually, Orange, I think stylistically, I think you would enjoy Matt Dillahunty, just
I
because
don't know
he is-
about that.
Well, no. Come on, man! Don't ruin this for me. I had a
We're
break
talking
there.
about you. I think you're talking about you.
I got a recommendation for anybody who's
Where's one stone? Come on. No, Matt Dillahunty is a unapologetic, abrasive personality. He's I think he's mellowed a little bit over the last couple of years, just because I think he's gotten older. But he is very much not afraid to tell people to shut up, you're wrong, and just get right down and go into from an oratory perspective, get into a knuckle fight with someone.
Oh, kind of like you then.
I want to be him when I grow up sometime.
Yes, he is our Matt Dillahunty.
By the way, what do you think about Paula
Call
White?
yourself Matt.
Oh yeah,
So-
Paula White.
yeah. Do you know who
Yeah.
Paula White is?
I don't know.
No,
this
that's
one.
not a name familiar to me.
Oh, she's the
he's-
strike and strike and strike and strike and strike.
Oh, that
oh,
wackadoodle.
That wackadoodle.
Yeah, she's
He is crazy.
very MAGA, and I think like she may have an official position within the MAGA administration as some, MAGA pastor or something. But yeah, she's one of those evangelical pastors who are who's very MAGA. Okay. I thought you would know, but that's fine.
Yeah, she is. And I don't use that phrase lightly. I think there's a fundamental problem with the hardwiring. I think she is crazy.
Well, it sounds like an exciting program then.
It's interesting.
All right.
All right.
But
Okay.
one more thing. I just want to throw out one recommendation for a channel if you haven't heard about this guy, Mr. Deity. Have you ever heard about him?
Mr. Deity?
Yeah, look him up. You'll enjoy his videos. He's funny as hell, and he just it's hard to explain, but he's just so.
God will not be mocked, or will he?
You'll enjoy it. If you haven't seen him, you'll enjoy it. That's all I got to say.
Okay, he's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Steve-O, I'm just gonna put you down and bring up Ook. Or I don't know if Ook's ready to talk to us. Ook, did you want to give any parting words, or? Oh, there you are.
He's right side up today.
I was being distracted. The cat's out in its playpen, so yeah, being distracted.
He's actually hanging like a bat from the rafters in order to get that shot.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that behind you there, Ook?
That's something I did during rehabilitation time when I had an artificial joint put in my neck. So I decided to make a paper mache dick. But
He used his own as a model.
Yeah.
So you have one of those in your neck right now? So you got like 2 dicks?
No, there.
He must have, because he couldn't be that stupid pulling one.
2 dicks. That's my nana's joke. No, it's all fine. I mean, I still don't get not voting, but yeah.
Yeah, we never really did get too far into that, did we? Kind of got off.
Well, I didn't necessarily want to push you on that, Orange. You seemed a little bit unwilling to divulge yourself.
It's the same with anyone who doesn't. I can't understand. Compulsory voting works. At least then, if you vote, you can't have a whinge about what the government does.
Well, I think God has an expectation for us to vote for His government, His kingdom. So, as a Christian, that's if I pledge my allegiance or give my vote to man's government, I think that distracts from ultimately what God has in store for mankind, and that's His kingdom, His government. So,
it just sounds to me like that just sounds cowardly to me. But yeah,
no, but God wants you to vote, and you're not voting for His government.
Yeah,
I don't know that God doesn't want me to vote. No, quite simply, Jesus said to pray for God's kingdom.
You haven't presented any evidence of.
So here's my suggestion.
Or what version of Bible Jesus you believe in? Because I mean, it's.
Well, show me where
ridiculous.
Jesus voted.
Okay, wait. Show me where Jesus drove a car. All right. So we have to end it here, because that whenever I hear that argument, I
But he wrote it down. I thought of that. Subsequent.
He rode a donkey and a horse.
So
because Matthew didn't know how.
By the way, Orange.
he used transportation that was available to him during his days. So I think that sets a good precedence. I don't know.
All right, so
It
Orange.
wasn't internal combustion though.
It was not.
Okay,
Well,
Orange.
they do gas. They may not. You don't fuel them with gas, but they do gas. So I mean, that's pretty close. You got to
right.
admit.
Yes,
Okay,
both
all right,
donkeys
everyone. I do have to.
Yes, both donkeys
I
and
ha-
cars can be gassed up.
Yeah.
I have to cut it off here. So thank you, everyone. Thanks, Orange, for showing
super
up.
quick. It has to do with something that came up the last time Orange was here. Orange, the next time that you come on, I want to hear your arguments for
Yes.
the existence of God, because
5
if
points,
it's one
though.
that I haven't heard,
Yes.
I have committed. I will
$100.
donate $100 to
Okay.
the charity.
Yeah.
I'm never bringing Orange back, so
No.
that will never happen. Okay.
No.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Craig.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Tilting. Thank you, Tuna.
Thank you.
See you later.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye.